is what it is.
I hate it. Hate it.
So I genuinely don't think that it has anything to do with Severance, but for some reason, I decided to toss Meet the Parents on when I was falling asleep the other night instead of, whatever, Brooklyn Nine-Nine or Seinfeld, whatever my normal nonsense is. And I don't think I've watched that movie since it came out, which was probably like, I don't know, early 2000s, 2004, I feel like.
I think it was earlier than that. I want to say it was like 2002, 2003.
Yeah, that sounds right.
2000.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like with most comedy stuff, there's some stuff that kind of doesn't age well, but the movie was still pretty funny. Like, I was like surprised at how much I was like enjoying and laughing at stuff. And it got to the point where I ended up at some point throughout that week just watching all three of them. So I did a full.
I forgot that there were three of them.
We just talked about this.
I don't think I ever saw the third one.
I haven't.
So third one's fine. I mean, it is a lot of the same a little bit, but the thing that number 3 has going for it, in my opinion, is that it has a lot more Owen Wilson in it, and he's just great as like that, kind of eccentric, just a guy that's almost like unbelievably, like in a movie that's like kind of more grounded. He's like, that unbelievable character a little bit more.
Meet the Parents is like, it's peak Adam Sandler, like sketch comedy stretched out for an hour and a half. Like when he used to be like the sketch comedy guy, like Meet the Parents is like peak Adam Sandler.
That's weird because he's not in any of those movies.
I mean, sorry, yeah, Ben Stiller. I
kept saying it, I was like, am I forgetting that he was in there at all?
And, that and Cable Guy, I think, are like some of like Sandler's prime stuff.
Why do you keep saying?
Not Sandler.
No, I had to that time.
Not actually. Wait. There's something about Mary. I had brought that up earlier too. I was like,
yeah.
He's been directing for a while. I forgot that he's been like a director for like since pretty much the beginning.
I mean, he directed Cable Guy, didn't he?
Yeah. He directed Reality Bites, which I think might have been before that. He's been in like directing for a while.
But this is not me like lobbying for anyone else to go and watch the Meet the Parents trilogy, but I was surprised. I enjoyed it.
But Brenden has changed his next pick to the trilogy.
Triple feature?
No, I forget we actually, because Mike and I were together earlier, and it turns out Mike has not that I'm like Mr. Judd Apatow, but Mike has not seen a lot of Apatow movies, like a lot of them.
Yeah.
Which I was kind of surprised about, because I feel like, at least for like not Todd, a lot of these movies came out when we were in high school. And I feel like
40-year-old. Have you seen 40-year-old Virgin?
Yes.
Okay.
But like,
I think
he said he's only seen I Love You, Man. And
I think it's easy for me to say which ones I didn't see.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I didn't see Knocked Up. I didn't see This Is 40. I didn't.
I like
see
This Is 40 a lot.
That's what I'm saying. Like Knocked Up, I feel like Mike had to have seen it with us. I'm so confused.
No, I believe that I heard the conversation of you guys going to the movies to see it, and for whatever reason, I just didn't join you guys. I don't know if you just did it when I wasn't around.
That's a 2007 movie.
Even not going to see it like in theaters, like you haven't seen Knocked Up since it came out.
I'm gonna be honest.
I never went out my way.
I don't think I've seen it in its entirety. Knocked Up. I definitely don't think I've seen it.
I feel
it's
like
probably been on TV, but I didn't like sit
maybe
down.
Maybe I did. It's been. I've only seen it once.
And
if I did see it.
I don't know if
rented it, and I don't own it.
I don't know if it's an Apatow movie or not. I feel like it must be. But you haven't seen Forgetting Sarah Marshall either?
I haven't seen it.
That's not Apatow. I think he's like a producer on that. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know.
Well, I was surprised when Mike was naming all these movies. I was like, I feel like we saw these movies in high school together.
I mean, you saw them in high school. I was not there.
Let me see.
You guys didn't even, like. I specifically remember you guys seeing Superbad, and I was not there.
I don't know. I couldn't tell you who was in or not in the movies, but I feel like we went to see these movies a lot together.
I feel like I might have seen Superbad with you guys.
I don't remember seeing it, so
I think I might have saw it with Brenden because we saw like Superbad. Like,
no way.
Pineapple Express. Did we see all those
Express we
movies
saw together, but Superbad I think came out when I was in high school.
Superbad came out in 2008.
So right after. So yeah, I don't think I saw it with Todd though. I definitely saw Pineapple Express with you because that was, I think, one of the times that
We used to go to midnight releases all the time.
I feel like Pineapple Express is one of those times that I laughed.
Did we go to midnight release for Pineapple Express?
Yeah. I mean, I don't know if you did. Were there?
Yeah,
I
but
can't
no,
remember.
then I didn't go with you then, Todd, because 2008, I was just out of high school. I don't think I knew you yet.
Okay. Yeah.
I was working at Border, but I don't.
Oh yeah.
I don't know if we were.
Yeah, I doubted that. No, probably not. Dude. Well, I think we've talked about this before, but the Pineapple Express experience was like chaos. Like it was like people throwing shit everywhere. Like everyone was fucking all fucked up in that movie.
Oh,
like,
see, I don't think
like the Minecraft movie.
I think when I saw it, it was like everyone was laughing. So I was laughing so hard, and I don't smoke. Like I don't.
Right. Yeah.
And it was just like, I think I've never laughed that hard in a movie theater. I was laughing so much.
Wait, do you remember the part when they're like chicken jockey, and then everyone started going crazy?
I'm going crazy with throwing popcorn. I took out a live chicken and I threw it at the fucking usher.
Judd Apatow movies. Let's see. Hold on.
They're very hit or miss. I feel like he's been great, and he's also made some fucking pretty bad ones.
Should I
Stinky
him as director, producer? What should I look at here? Because there's two.
Director.
Director. Okay. Director. Previous.
Funny People.
Bob and Donna Love Story. I'm assuming none of us have seen that. George Carlin's American Dream. The Bubble. The King of Staten Island. I have not seen that.
That's good.
King of Staten Island was great.
Those are TV things. May It
I don't know if
Last.
it's a movie for everybody.
A Portrait of the Avett Brothers. I don't know what that is. TV. Trainwreck. I don't remember. I don't think I've seen that.
It's not in theaters.
Was it good? Did you like it? It's fine. Is it? I know it's Amy Schumer. Is it Bill Hader?
Yeah.
Bill Hader, yeah. There's definitely funny parts to it.
This is 40.
I feel like Hader's character was funny. Cena was a riot.
LeBron, like there's a lot of people in it, right? Like LeBron's in that too. Okay. This is 40. Funny People. I remember enjoying Funny People. I don't know if it's.
I remember liking Funny People.
I never saw it.
The Hills with James Franco. I don't know what that is. Knocked Up, 40-Year-Old Virgin, Undeclared. That's TV. Yeah, so I guess not like a ton. But I guess Mike's not seen most of that stuff. Just 40-Year-Old Virgin.
I saw Funny People.
Oh, and Funny People, sorry.
Yeah.
So then,
I already forget what you listed.
Yeah, I don't know. There was not a lot. Oh, Girls. Mike loves Girls.
Oh, yeah. What's his face's daughter is on that show. Brian Wilson's daughter? Someone's daughter.
Yep.
I have no idea.
Anyways. Yeah, Ashley. She was in Get Out, right?
Oh, she's one of the main characters, yeah. Anyways, welcome everyone to the Pass Control Podcast, a show where a couple of best friends talk about latest in video games and nerd culture. Sometimes we have guests, sometimes we talk about Judd Apatow too much. Either way, we have a new episode for you each and every week. As always, I'm your host, Brenden Groom, and joining me on this lovely Saturday, I forgot what day it was, Saturday evening, is the anime senpai himself, Mr. Michael Desir. Mike, how are you doing tonight?
Yeah, you know.
This is a rare. We got a 2 espresso martini Mike night tonight. That's what we got. He's got booze and caffeine flowing through him right now.
Yeah, doesn't it show?
Sapphire J in the chat says Mike looks fresh. That's a nice plaid for him. Mike's killing it tonight. This is a Mike episode. Take it away, Mike.
We already did that.
All right, we hit our quota for the year.
You got your one for the year.
Okay. Also joining us tonight, of course, is the Fortnite father, Mr. Todd W. Gary. Todd, how are you doing tonight? He's giving us a thumbs up for audio listeners. And rounding us out, of course, is the Disney daddy himself, Mr. Dominic 40 Dom. How are you doing tonight? It's another thumbs up. We're a thumbs up gang tonight.
Hell yeah.
We got a great show for you tonight. We're going to talk about a bunch of stuff we've been playing and whatever other nonsense we got going on. But before we do that, a couple of quick housekeeping things. This episode of the Pass Control Podcast is sponsored by our good friends at Goodnight Fatty. If you're in the Salem, Massachusetts area or the North Shore of Massachusetts on a Friday, Saturday, Sunday evening, you want yourself something hot, something sweet, something tasty, something fresh out of the oven, you can head on down to 1 Washington Square and get yourself a delicious fatty. And if you're unaware of what a fatty is, you can head on over to @GoodnightFatty and @GoodMorningChubby and educate yourself on these tasty, tasty treats. The PTC Movie Club for April is Dom's pick, and it is a movie that I didn't write down, and I'm trying to scramble in my brain to remember what it was. I believe it's a comedy.
Safety Not Guaranteed?
Safety Not Guaranteed.
Right?
Yes. That's what it is. So we'll chat about that at the end of the month. If you want to hear us chat about Safety Not Guaranteed, make sure you watch that movie before the end of April. I think that'll do it for housekeeping. So I think we just roll right into. I have a few games that I'm going to talk about tonight, but I'll go towards the later of the group here. We'll start with Mike. Mike, what have you been up to this week? Anything? Playing anything good? Watching anything good?
Playing fucking nothing. I was gonna try playing something different, and then I forget what happened. I think something needed to update, and then I went to sleep or something, and I stopped.
That's how they get you.
Yep. Same old, same old.
And watching anything good? You go to the might have, right?
Good.
How many times did you do Minecraft this week?
Yeah, how many times?
0 times. I did watch Electric State.
Oh, how bad was it?
It wasn't horrible. I can see why people complain that it was like so expensive for no reason. Like I don't know where the money went.
Did you buy any Planted Peanuts afterwards?
No, but I have a lot more respect for Mr. Peanut. Like,
is Millie Bobby Brown terrible in it? Is she like a terror?
She's whatever. Cat knocked my microphone. Yeah, she was whatever. The movie was fine. I'm already struggling to remember what the plot even was. It was like
she's looking for a brother.
It's like an alternate history because it takes place in the 90s. It's like an alternate history where in the 1950s, whatever, I guess Walt Disney pulled off his whole like, yeah, I want fucking robots in my park. And then robots become just a thing. And then Mr. Peanut said, hey, we don't want to be just slaving away working. We want to live our lives. And then there's a whole war about it. And the robots lose because Stanley Tucci made the Oculus. The Tooch man himself, Tucci gang. He made an Oculus that lets fucking Gus Fring pilot a robot.
I'm choosing to believe that everything that you're saying is factual, so that Stanley Tucci is actually the inventor, and Gus Fring, the character, is actually.
Yeah, the fact that Juan Carlos Esposito is there. And after I finished the film, I just could think he didn't really share a scene with anybody because for the most of the film, he's putting on the little headset thing to control a robot. And the robot would show his face on it, but it doesn't mean that he was actually there. So he definitely filmed all the scenes with the exception of one, which takes place in a virtual world where he talks to the Tooch. I don't know.
He did The Mandalorian and was like, fucking Pablo's not even here.
Yeah.
I don't have to be there to do anything anymore.
Pablo. Oh, Dom, you didn't watch
Pedro.
Oh, Pedro.
Okay. Pedro. Dom, you didn't watch.
I added his last name and his first name together and made Pablo.
Makes sense. Yeah, you didn't watch Brave New World, right?
I did not. Oh no, I did not. I forgot that was the name of the new Captain America.
Yeah,
I was like, they made a movie of Brave New World. Look,
I forgot about that book too.
No, Brave Little Toaster.
Brave Little Toaster. Yep, that's actually Juan Carlos Esposito's first role. I made that up. I just want to make sure that no one tries to fact check that immediately. I lied. Yeah, that was another thing where because of reshoots, he basically only shows up in a handful of scenes just with Anthony Mackie. So I'm just thinking, for the last few years, he's just been really cashing in checks doing nothing. Get that bag, man. But...
Is it a spoiler? Is he part of the Serpent Society?
They don't even really get into it though. Like they barely give into like any of that stuff, right?
As I understand
but they erased most of the Serpent Society, correct?
Yes, I think they
I remember
them as the serpents.
Okay. I feel like I remember hearing something about that, like that they had like did all these scenes with the Serpent Society and then like essentially just taken them out of the movie like almost altogether.
Yeah, I think they had a couple members of the Serpent Society cast. I think one of them was a wrestler at least.
Yeah.
And then they removed all of that, and then they recast Sidewinder with Juan Carlo, and I guess they just had him do a whole different thing. That's all.
Mike, you gonna go see Sinners?
I don't know if I want to see Sinners. That's the thing.
Is that an in-theater movie?
Yeah.
Sinners?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's filmed on IMAX cameras.
Nice.
There's still tickets for it on IMAX for Thursday.
Because it's like it seems like it is a not horror film, but
it's like a From Dusk Till Dawn type movie, from what I've heard.
Yeah.
Like
100% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Yeah, when it's streaming, maybe I'll watch it.
Kubler doesn't miss.
Let me just quickly say a couple of things so I don't need to talk about all this shit too much. Last week or 2 weeks ago, I don't know, I watched A Working Man, which was a film.
That's the movie I was like, I feel like Mike just went to the movies. That's what I was trying to get to. What was the other movie called? Electric State?
Electric State.
Okay.
Wait, was A Working Man good? Because I really want to see it.
Yeah.
I just want like revenge porn, basically. So like, is it good on that front?
Not.
Is it a Jason Statham film?
Yes. It's a Jason Statham film. 100%.
Does it feel like that?
Yeah, but it seems like a Jason Statham film that really should have gone straight to a streaming service.
I just want to pull it back for a second. That's not what revenge. That's not how that type of movie is characterized. Right?
I think he's looking for essentially like a Taken sort of situation where like someone is, or Taken or John Wick thing where someone
like they take the guy's daughter, they take his family's daughter, and then he just goes and kills everyone. Basically,
the point I was trying to make is I don't think people call that.
He's not looking for the literal. He's not looking for the literal revenge porn.
Yeah,
yeah, that's different.
That is, but different. Like I guess for my own, is that a thing people refer to those types of movies as?
No.
Okay, that's why I was confused. I was like, huh? All right.
Yeah. Also, what David Ayer did? What
he did? Beekeeper. He wrote Training Day. He did End of Watch. He did Fury.
Okay. Because like at this point, I think the only
Squad.
David Ayer movies I've watched were Suicide Squad and this movie, Working Man. And I'm wondering, and Beekeeper. And I'm like, does this guy make? I feel like people talked about him like he's good, but I feel like
he's super hit or miss. But Fury is his best movie. If you're gonna watch any of his movies, watch Fury.
Yeah, Working Man was whatever. It's one of those. Like if I had to compare it to Beekeeper way better.
Oh really?
In my opinion, because at least Beekeeper was like absurd from the get-go. This movie, I think, wanted to be. First of all, I think this movie is based off of a book. So, or maybe even a book series. So they clearly wanted to have certain aspects from the book in the movie, but like it doesn't play out well in this film just because things are truncated.
I feel like David Ayer's checked out ever since Suicide Squad 2, and he's just making like these kind of movies. Like he's just like, I'll just go with Statham and make a Statham movie, and because
he co-wrote this movie with Stallone.
That was the other thing. This movie is one of those movies that starts off with like an opening cinematic thing where they show all the people that work in the film, and like it's like a not CGI, but they're showing some sort of thing to like give you the background of the character, and it's like produced by Statham, and they listed 12 names, and then I saw Stallone. I'm like, what is going on right now? It was also produced by Amazon MGM now or whatever, so expect this to be on Prime in like 3 weeks. So I'll just wrap this up with I think Fire Force has started on Crunchyroll now, so I'm watching Fire Force. I finally started watching Daima, Dragon Ball Daima. Was there anything else? I watched the first episode of My Hero Academia Vigilantes. Okay.
Oh,
there we go.
First episode of Severance, right?
Yeah. I didn't watch Severance, but they fucking canceled Mythic Quest. This is bullshit.
I know, I saw that. Yeah.
4 seasons then?
4 seasons in. Like, they're going to release a.
Apple doesn't cancel anything either.
Yeah, I know. They're gonna release like an updated or like a finale just to wrap things up. But the season 4 finale definitely ended in a way where, you're like, oh, how's this going to change things? I guess they could easily wrap it up with a single episode, but I feel like there's some other things that I need to have addressed.
Interesting.
So hopefully,
I've never felt like I had to watch that show. I feel like you guys have said it's good.
Yeah,
but
I liked it. I'm not current with it, but I enjoyed what I watched of it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna like go around recommending the way you guys are recommending Severance or Ted Lasso or Shrinking or any of the other shows on Apple.
I don't think
Apple
it's
TV.
necessarily a reason to get Apple TV, but if you have Apple TV, I think it's a solid watch.
Yeah. So here's that.
Cool. Nice. How's Daima? Good? Worth it? Yeah. Oh.
Yeah, Daima is weird. I have a feeling, and it's a moot point now because Toriyama's passed. But I'm maybe if he was still making things, it'd be like stick to movies, stick to something that can be fit into 90 minutes, maybe 2 hours.
Okay.
Because I feel like this show is like it's got an idea for a plot, but it's not enough for it to really be. I think it's a 20 episode show, and I'm maybe 13 episodes in. 13, 14 episodes
I feel like is Daima initially he was just kind of like overseeing it, but then he got heavily involved. I don't know. I want to say he was kind of just like, it's his thing, so like he's gonna be in that sort of like executive producer type role of just like, pop my head and take a look around and be like, all right, yeah, this is my art. Okay, yeah, this is the right thing to do with these characters or whatever. But I think he ended up getting more involved, which I don't know if that's better or worse for what it is. But I mean, I think he passed also while it was going on, so it may have been like a matter of,
I don't know.
It's being written by multiple people because he's no longer with us.
Like not to get into the weeds with it, but essentially what happens is some new villain shows up and wishes that all the main cast more or less were children. So he wishes they were children, and then they fuck off to this other dimension thing, and they have to go chase after him to essentially undo this. And to get around in this other dimension, they have to fly around, and they call it a plane. It's basically a spaceship, but it's a plane. And pretty much every episode, for one reason or another, the plane crashes, or it gets stolen, or every episode for some reason has to stop their movement just by saying like, the plane they were using can't be used. Oh, it crashed into something. Oh, a monster ate it, and it's just, I don't know. That's one of the things that bothers me about the show is that they have to elongate it by making up all these stupid reasons why they cannot progress. I'll dig into it some other time. I'm too tired to talk about it right now.
That's fair. Well, congratulations, listeners out there. You did get a mini Mike episode. Unprompted. Mike just went off, which is fine. I'm sure people, the Mike fans out there are happy right now. What about you, Dom? What have you been playing?
I have finished the Assassin's Creed Shadows story.
What are your final thoughts on that? Yeah,
a game that I didn't even want to uninstall, but it is 120 gigabytes.
Yep.
Because I did want to get back into it and like do more side stuff.
Same.
There's a lot of side stuff to do. And at one point, I like just had to stop and like hardline to the end.
Yeah. That's kind of how I was like playing the game, and then even same thing after I had finished it. I didn't uninstall it right away. I went back and was like doing more things that I wanted to mess around with and kind of see.
Because I'm like curious to see like what other like smaller side stories you find.
Yeah.
And the ending kind of leaves something open.
Yep.
As if I don't know if that'll be DLC or what, but so yeah, I enjoyed my time with that. I'm sure we'll do something more in depth at some point for like spoilers.
Yeah, we might when Todd finishes, we can do that. Maybe have someone pop on with us. I would say I don't know if you feel like giving it a score. I think for me, I've sat with it for a while. I was waiting for one of you to finish. I think for me, I would probably put an 8 out of 10 on it. I don't think it did.
I was gonna say 8.5.
Yeah, I don't think it did anything like super remarkable that I'm like, oh shit, this is like the thing. But I had so much fun with that gameplay loop that, like, again, like I there are certain games that when I finish them, it's like an immediate uninstall, free up that hard drive space, move on to the next thing I got to play. But with that, it was like, oh, I kind of wish I didn't have other stuff to play right now because I want to just noodle around with this.
Yeah.
I thought, I enjoyed the combat. I like the stealth, and I don't really care for stealth pretty often. I think I liked a lot of this. I think it has a lot of cool story moments. I think that it does wrap in a not super. I'm like back and forth on the ending because there's multiple endings kind of in a row for each character. So I was kind of hoping for a little bit more. I think there it seems like it's kind of left open to either be like do every side thing in the game, or maybe they're gonna add DLC or something that kind of continues some of those story threads. But I really enjoyed my time with that game. I think it was a fun gameplay loop, and I think
the Yasuke's story thread is kind of stuck. You can't progress that anymore.
Yeah, and it's definitely the Naoe side of things, and like the series stuff going around that with like the Animus and the Assassin, whatever the fuck, the guild or whatever they call themselves. But yeah, I feel pretty good about an 8 with that. I enjoyed my time with it. I had a lot of fun playing that game. It's making me, I don't know if it's made you feel the same way, but it's actually making me kind of want to maybe play another one of the more modern Assassin's Creed games, either Origins or Odyssey or Valhalla.
Mirage.
Or Mirage, yeah.
Don't play Valhalla unless you have like 100 hours, because that game's it's way longer than fucking Shadows.
Let me be clear. I don't have time for any of those games right now. But I do think I'll probably, poke my head into one of those more modern Assassin's Creed games at some point this year when I have a little bit of a downtime. What else you got going on, Dom?
I dipped my toes into the blueprints. I'm still not sure how I feel about it.
We can because the three out of the four of us are playing that, so we can kind of jump into that if you have nothing else.
Well, and then I started South by Midnight. Is that the name of the game?
South of Midnight.
South of Midnight.
Yeah.
And that I'm enjoying so far. I've played the first couple chapters.
Yeah, Todd's pretty far in that game too.
Yeah, I'm close to I think I'm on like chapter 12 right now. I think there's only like 14 chapters, but I'm actually the game a lot. I think my only gripe is like the combat's kind of whatever. Because like you just get to like an area and you're like, okay, I'm gonna fight here. Yeah. And then you just do platform. It's like, and it stays like that throughout the entire game. It never gets any different than that.
The one thing, like I turned the game on and like the opening cinematic played, and it's like all claymation. I was like, oh shit, are we getting a full claymation game?
Yeah, right.
And then it like quickly switches. The art style's fine. It's just
no,
like,
I was like
very excited.
The graphics are phenomenal in that game.
I was very excited that we were getting a claymation game.
Right. And the music's really good too.
Like, very good. I like the narration, like the way the story progresses.
Yeah,
and everything, like,
absolutely.
With the book.
Yeah, it's like every time you get to a boss, they start playing like one of those songs, like old, like twangy that style of music. But yeah, the game's good.
Licensed music or is it original music? I don't know.
I think it's original. Okay. I'm pretty sure it's original.
I think it's all original. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. I'm pretty close to beating it though, but I've had a good time with it. It's one of those like 10 to 12 hour games where like you're just getting through this game. You're not going to be like Assassin's Creed. It's like I'm not going to be spending 60 hours on this game.
Yeah.
It's which is I need these kind of games once in a while.
I have it installed. I just have other stuff which I'll get to shortly that I have had to play and I'm currently playing, but it's definitely on my short list of hopefully get to it before the end of April. I've been excited for that since it got announced, and then it was a deeper dive at SGF last year, so looking forward to checking that out as well. But Don brought up the blueprints, and I know that Todd is also playing it, and I've put in a lot of time into that game already. Probably, I don't know how many hours wise, because I want to say I'm close to like my 30th run on there, day 30ish. I'm very clearly the furthest. It's hard to like say how far you are because it's a roguelike in nature. But I won't spoil stuff. Like I'll be vague about certain things for people listening, because I think it's best to go into that game knowing as little as possible, like knowing the premise of that it is, a puzzle roguelike is kind of really the hook, if that is of interest to you. I've seen some people describe it as a Mistroid Brainia, which I think is like a pretty apt way to describe it for like just an upfront snap. This is kind of what this game is. But essentially, you're working off of a grid. I think it's 5 by 8?
10.
5 by
I think
10.
5 by 9 or 5 by 10.
Yeah,
I think
something like that.
Yeah, it's 10. I think it's no, it's 9. I think it's 9.
So you're working off a grid. Every time you progress through a room or go to a door, you get rolled a random selection of different floor plans for a room type. And your goal is not maybe what you think it is, but what the game is telling you up front is to get to this 46th room, to get through all these rooms. And I won't go further than that, but the advice that was given to me, this was after I've already been playing it for a little while, because I was talking to a friend of the show who was on the show last week, Jesse Vitelli, who's a big fan of Blueprints, has been playing a lot of it. I think they've finished the game. Their advice to me was, and I think this is actually really great advice, especially early in the game, you should be a little less focused on trying to get to the end of the floor plan, and just anytime there's a new thing presented to you that you haven't, either a room type that you haven't used before or some other new thing you haven't experienced, you should, at least early game, choose those things. So choose like just gaining more knowledge about the game instead of, like, even if it kills your run, just like choose to do the more knowledge path, because it'll continue to open more things up for you. And I'm at the point with my playthrough so far where there's a lot more going on to the game that has made itself aware to me, and it's kind of now all I'm thinking about is I need to know what the fuck is going on. I need to know how to get further into this game, and I'm kind of really enjoying just like playing around in this puzzle house, having a really good time with it. So I definitely think it's something that people, if you like puzzle games with that roguelike element, I think you should definitely, like, only being, probably between 5 and 10 hours, because I feel like some runs take me like an hour. I don't actually know how long I've been playing the game, but I'm pretty sure the last time I looked, it was, I want to say, more than 5 hours. So I'm probably somewhere between 5 and 10 hours played with this game so far, and I'm really, really enjoying my time with it. But someone else talk about Blueprints. I know Dom's still early, and still unsure, but
I'm obsessed. I'm obsessed with the game right now, and I'm not really a puzzle game kind of guy. But you give me like a decent roguelike kind of game, and I'm usually like, I think roguelike's like probably one of my favorite styles of games. So it just works, and it's so unique in its own way. Like I don't think I can compare it to really anything.
I definitely don't have a like point of comparison. Like it has like light deck builder elements, maybe, just because it feels like you're kind of amassing that type of thing, but it really is sort of its own thing, which is really interesting.
But I can't stop thinking about it since I played it. Yeah. It's definitely has its claws in me, and I'm so interested to see where the story is going to go.
Yep, same.
I'll be playing this for a while, I'm sure. But yeah, I fucking love it.
Yeah, it's
this kind of like stuff. This and South of Midnight kind of put like Assassin's Creed like to a screeching halt, just because like I wish they released Assassin's Creed like in January when nothing came out, because like that's a game that like I need to just be playing that game because it takes so fucking long.
Yeah, there's a lot going on, but yeah, Blueprints has very quickly stolen a lot of my time from some of the other things I've been playing. I played and finished a game called Wanderstop, which is a new game from Ivy Road, which I have some mixed feelings about. I've been kind of sitting on my thoughts, trying to figure out where I fully land on this game. Basically, without giving too much of what the game is away, you play this character named Alta, who is a warrior. excuse me. You play this character named Alta, who's a warrior. She, for one reason or another, fails in being undefeated and finds herself on a journey to go find her old teacher who she wants guidance from. And you end up at this tea shop, which is where most of the game takes place. And you meet this character, Boro, who runs the tea shop. And, you, with his guidance, start working for him at the tea shop. I guess it's not really a spoiler. So Alta can't lift her sword up anymore. So Boro finds her in the forest, brings her to the tea shop. Hey, why don't you rest up until you're, strong enough to take your sword again, and then, you can leave whenever you want. But let's, rest up. Oh, while you're here, why don't you make a cup of tea? Why don't you, why don't I show you how to plant? Why don't I show you how to garden? All this stuff. So you basically, the gameplay loop is different people will show up at this tea shop who are also on their own sort of personal journeys. And this place kind of exists in a more fantasy realm type of place where, people are there for their own personal journeys, and you are trying to make them, fulfill their requests for specific types of tea or whatever, other things they may ask you for. And it's definitely a game that is trying to directly and indirectly talk about burnout and mental health and taking care of yourself and those types of things. And I think it does a lot of that really great. And I think some of it maybe doesn't hit, but I do think it is like a your mileage may vary situation where it really just depends on where you're at personally, maybe, and how these things might speak to you, because some of the, things that they're talking about in the game did resonate with me in like ways of I'm fucking burnt out all the time from day job, from other stuff. Like a lot of that stuff did kind of resonate with me, and I appreciated it. And I think the game did make me think about those things while I'm playing it, and my relationship with myself and my relationship with my responsibilities and those things. And I think it did do a good job of kind of giving me that inner conversation with myself while I was playing it. I think the gameplay itself is kind of at times boring. You are doing, farm sim type, Animal Crossing type minimal gameplay. You're planting flowers, you're planting trees to make certain types of ingredients to make different types of teas with. You're interacting with, interesting cast of characters that kind of spans throughout the duration of the game. You meet a lot of different people, and some of those characters were interesting and had interesting storylines and reasons for why they're on their journey. And I think it does a lot of stuff. The game doesn't really force you to do a lot of stuff. Like, I think you do have to do certain things for the game to actually progress. But I think the way the game functions, it's kind of on a timer where it's like, if you play this game for 10, 15 hours and you do like minimal requests type stuff, you're going to see the game through its entirety. Obviously, you can get more out of stuff if you're like completing everyone's requests and trying to see their, sort of story arcs go through. But it's not a bad game by any means. I think it does a lot of interesting things, and I think any game or piece of art or media that makes you have those conversations with yourself and reflect upon yourself is like, pretty impactful. I think I'd probably fall with Wanderstop about a 7 out of 10. I think that its biggest strength was that it made me think about my own life in meaningful ways. And I don't think a lot of video games have that ability. So I appreciated having that sort of reaction to playing it. It's a great art style. It does a lot of things great. And even though the gameplay was, I think, boring at times, I did have fun doing that. But I also like playing those types of games. Like I love Animal Crossing. So, it's definitely a game that isn't gonna be everyone's cup of tea. I didn't mean to say that, but here we are. I do think, because it's from Ivy Road, they have a few other great games under their belt, like the Stanley Parable and the Beginner's Guide. And I think they do similar types of things. And not that it's like, weigh them against each other, but I personally like what the Beginner's Guide and Stanley Parable made me feel and do and think about more. But that could just be a matter of, some of these things are uncomfortable to think about, and maybe you don't want to play a game and think about those things, which I think is also valid. But I think Wanderstop, 7 out of 10. Enjoyed my time with it. Probably not something I would, rush to go back to at any point, but I think it is doing interesting things, and I think that type of stuff is few and far between in the video game space. So always interesting to see like good, interesting takes on that type of stuff. Other game I've played a little bit of, not as much as I'd like to have yet, but Like a Dragon, Pirate Yakuza in Hawaii, I'm a little bit into. I will definitely have more fleshed out opinions as I get further and through that game, but I will say up front, it's more Yakuza, and that's a good thing. So I'm enjoying my time with that. I like that loop. It's Yakuza as Yakuza used to be, so it's on the brawler side of things, not the turn-based combat, and I'm having a great time. So I'm looking forward to more of that.
Wait, did you say it was on the brawler side?
It's the brawler side, yeah.
Oh, I thought it was turn-based. I didn't realize it was.
No. The only turn-based ones are the Ichiban games. This
I figured
this
it was like
is
connected to Like a Dragon or whatever. Like it's.
I don't know if it's. I'm assuming it probably is like story canon, but it's like you play as Majima. I don't know if other like mainstay Yakuza people show up further into the game, but you play as Majima, and I think it's supposed to be the reason why he basically ends up in Hawaii, but it could just be like a fever dream too. I have no idea. It's like a very ridiculous game. You are commandeering a pirate ship. Like you are. It is silly, but it's Yakuza silly, and it's fantastic. So I'm really enjoying my time with that. I can't wait to get back to playing more of that. And then lastly, I've been playing Rift of the Necrodancer, which came out earlier this year, but it's kind of just been sitting waiting for me to play. And if you like the Crypt of the Necrodancer world, definitely something to check out. If you like rhythm games, definitely something to check out. It is not fucking easy. The game has different things going on with it too, like that are a little bit more maybe Rhythm Heaven, WarioWare-esque rhythm moments, but then a lot of the game is on a familiar grid like Guitar Hero Rock Band, like notes coming down the thing, but they're not notes, they're enemies, and you have to know how each enemy like responds to you pressing the note, basically. So it's not just like a regular, oh, here comes blue, gotta tap blue, here comes orange, gotta tap orange. It's like this enemy's coming down the left lane, and when I tap that button, they might just die in one hit, or they might react in a different way, or they might do something else. And it's kind of knowing how all of the enemies are going to interact with button presses and then doing that on top of the rhythm. It is very fun. It is very difficult for me. I'm not like Mr. Guitar Hero, but I do love rhythm games, and I do like, Rock Band. So having a blast with that. Great art style, great music, great altogether thing. Big fan of the Necrodancer universe of games. I think that's where I'm at, though. I mean, I don't know if there's really anything else that happened this week that we need to comment on. I know we've been all kind of playing a lot of shit, so I wanted to really focus on an episode of us just talking about things that we've been playing, because the last few have been movie stuff. People haven't been here. Switch stuff. So we had a lot of stuff to kind of get through in the interim. But if no one else has anything else we got going on, I guess we can kind of head towards the end of the show.
Real quick though, I watched an episode of Rick and Morty from like the most recent season today, and I wasn't even sure what the fuck I was watching anymore. It was strange. It felt like Family Guy trying to be like way too like edgy towards the, like the back half of them, and it didn't feel like what's it called? It just didn't feel like Rick and Morty. It was weird.
Okay.
Voices were fine, but yeah, it was. I was like, I don't know if I need to watch this anymore.
I mean, you haven't been watching it anymore. You haven't watched it in how long? I haven't watched it in forever.
Yeah, it's been a couple seasons.
Mike's a big Rick and Morty guy still, or do you just put it on when it's on?
I've definitely watched everything that's come out.
Okay.
So I should be caught up.
I watched the Poopy Butthole episode when they have like an intervention firm.
Oh yeah, the one with Hugh Jackman.
Yes. Yes.
I haven't watched Rick and Morty in so long. I don't even know the last time I watched it.
Yeah, I feel like you are probably a few seasons back.
Yeah, I think ever since Justin Roiland got canned, that's the last time I watched it.
I think I stopped watching it even before that, because I think before that didn't they? Wasn't there a break? Wasn't there like a decent sized break between when didn't they take a break for a while?
I think so.
And I think that was before Justin Roiland, all of his fucking garbage shit happened.
Stuff, yeah.
After that break, they've been like pumping out like a season per year almost.
Interesting.
Yeah, they've been pretty good. I wasn't paying attention. Was there a reason why we were talking about Rick and Morty?
Todd really wanted to say we're on great pace for like a nice, concise episode. And Todd's
the greatest movie of all time. Greatest movie of all time, Minecraft. All right, you can go on now.
Oh,
no, go ahead,
please,
Todd.
talk about
give your Todd's review of Minecraft. Here we go. What do we got? Todd's review of Minecraft.
Chicken Jockey.
Oh, absolute cinema, am I right, boys?
The most ridiculous fucking movie ever. That's all I'll say. It is, and I love.
That's not all you'll say, because your text message is like, "This movie's fucking incredible. It's so funny. It's the best ever."
No, and stop it. But it is the most.
Watch out.
This is it. I'm just gonna say it's the most ridiculous movie. The fact that a studio was like, "We're putting this out to the public," is fucking insane. It's really insane. But it worked.
They're being rewarded for it.
Yeah. Oh, 100%. Yeah. I'm shocked.
I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing.
I'm shocked that studio execs were like, "Yeah, let's go with it."
Because I think this movie was gonna perform well regardless, because it's Minecraft.
Can I say like a spoilery thing, even though I don't think this is a spoilery?
I mean,
I don't think it's going to affect any of you guys.
If they don't care, that's fine. If you are listening and you care about Minecraft movie spoilers, please skip, 2 minutes.
So there's a villager. Do you know what the villagers look like? They got like the big noses that go down and they walk like this.
Oh, the one that dates Jennifer Coolidge?
He goes to a portal, ends up in the real world. He gets hit by a car and is on a date with Jennifer restaurant and becomes like her love interest for the rest of the movie. There's like this whole subplot. And the whole time I'm like, what is happening? And she's fucking hilarious. But yeah, the movie is, I want you guys to just go see it so you can be like, Todd, what the fuck did you just make me watch? Like, what the fuck is this?
If Mike wants to go, I'll go see it. Otherwise, I have zero interest. Maybe I'll put it on when it comes to a streaming service.
I don't yearn for the mines like a young Jack Black does.
Is that going to have to be my pick? Fuck.
Yeah, maybe.
Cam just came into the chat and said, "Wow, that's crazy. I have no idea what you're talking about." We're talking about how much Todd loved the Minecraft movie. Todd is a big Minecraft movie fan. I mean, listen, it's got a 46% tomato meter, 87% popcorn meter. Let me see what the box office is sitting at.
It did another 80 this weekend. 300 million last weekend.
Minecraft movie.
Worldwide is at 434.
434. What
in 2 weeks.
I think that it has a shot at because been 2 weeks now?
Yeah. This will be the second week.
I think if any video game movie has a shot at hitting the Mario number, Mario is at 1.3 billion. I think Minecraft can probably at least get to 1 billion.
It is the top opening weekend
for a video game movie,
for spring of all time.
28-degree weather spring.
Ahead of the Super Mario Bros.
What did the World of Warcraft movie do?
Not good.
Did it do well?
I feel like it
it's
must have done
good,
well.
but I don't know if it did well.
Are you thinking of Dungeons and Dragons or
No,
World
I'm
of
talking
Warcraft?
about World of Warcraft. Budget of 160 mil. It did
Didn't do well.
439. I mean, 439 is still
Wait, it did 439. I'm actually shocked it did
for
that.
2016. I feel like that's pretty good.
They probably spent a lot of money on advertising that.
Because the Moon Director did that too.
I mean, it also this is like it had a 10% domestic, 89% international. So 391 of that is international movie tickets.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, Cam said it did well in China. So, yeah, I mean, I feel like 2016. That's probably because when did Detective Pikachu was later than that, right? 2019.
Yeah, Detective Pikachu was like 2018, 2019.
Right around pre-pandemic, or right around the same time as the pandemic.
Detective Pikachu, 2019, 450. You know what I mean? Like that's 439 is kind of on par for what video game movies were doing. Because I think even Sonic lives around
that Pikachu same. It's right around that same. Yeah.
We got Sonic 1 did. This is all according to Box Office Mojo. Sonic 1 did 319. Sonic 2 did 405. Sonic 3 did 491. So like, that's kind of all in line.
Yeah.
Cam said that movie was ass. Yeah, I mean, I don't have any attachment to World of Warcraft, so I don't really have a reason to watch that film for any reason. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I care enough to. I like going to the movies, so if Mike was like, "I'm gonna go see Minecraft," I'd probably go, but I'm not gonna go out of my way to watch it.
You gonna bring a chicken?
I don't know. I don't know what's going on with that. I don't know.
You haven't seen that? You haven't seen any of that stuff?
I don't know. None of that? I know nothing from the movie other than the commercials I've seen.
No. This is about the people going to the movies.
Yeah, it's about the people going to the theater.
I don't know what any of this is.
Oh, how? This is like a fucking huge deal. Like
why would that be my algorithm? What part of that is what comes across my?
It is like it's everywhere. Like it's like people are coming to the movie when the chicken jockey scene happens. Everyone gets up, starts screaming, throwing popcorn. There's a guy who actually brought in a live chicken into a theater, and
people our audience. The movies.
Yes, they're kicking everyone out of the theater. Our audience was a 10:30 showing with a lot of kids that were like, people were going crazy when he's like, "I am Steve," like whatever he said, like the dumbest thing. It was like, "I am Steve." Yeah, like people were cheering throughout the movie. Like at
I still 10:30 I still do not understand what any of the words you're saying mean. Like I don't know what chicken jockey is.
Chicken jockey is like it's like a zombie that rides on a chicken. Basically, it's like it's something in the game.
So
and like
background last week.
Earlier, oh yeah, I do remember Jesse saying something about that. Earlier in this episode, when we were talking about Pineapple Express, I think one of you must have said people in the theater saying chicken jockey. I didn't know what the fuck you were talking about, and I was like, that's a joke from Pineapple Express that I don't remember. So I just was like, all right, yeah, sure. Like, nod in my head, like, yeah, okay, sure. So full circle. Now I know what the fuck you're talking about. Still don't care. Not going to see Minecraft. Anyways, before Todd derails this into a fucking hour-and-a-half episode.
Oh, and... Okay.
Oh, I really wanted you to say more things.
Let's get to the game. But before we play the game and wrap things up, thank you all so much for listening to this week's episode 467 of the Pass the Controller podcast. If you're a friend of the show, fan of the show, tons of ways to support us. Easiest way, freest way. Leave us a quick 5-star review, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, wherever you listen to the show. It's super, super beneficial in helping us continue to grow the show. So we'd appreciate it if you took the time to do that. If you want to support us in a bunch of different ways or see other things that we do, you can just head over to www.passthecontroller.io. Our website will link you out to everything we do, whether it's written content, drink recipes, the podcast, ways to spend money if you want to support us on Patreon or if you want to buy stuff from our shop. Tons of ways to interact with us over there, social media, all that stuff. As a friendly reminder, if you're an audio-only listener, we do record the show live every week at twitch.tv/passcontroller. So if you want to catch us live, feel free to tune in over there. Hit that subscribe button and you'll get a little notification when we go live. If you can't catch us live but still want to watch the show, we do archive these over on YouTube. Just search Pass the Controller Podcast on YouTube and you can check out that version there. But as we do with every episode every week, we do end with the game, the leaderboard for the year. Even though Todd was not here, still in first place, 18 points. But Dom creeping up in second with 17. Mike in third with 10. The chat has 2 points. Jesse currently leading the guest leaderboard with 3 points. and the way that we are going to end tonight, which is, of course, one of our favorites, called Gaming the Meta. The way this works, I picked 3 games. You are going to guess the Metacritic score for the most reviewed platform. Whoever gets the closest gets the point. If you get a bullseye, you get a big old double point. So, without further ado, based on, what we've been talking about tonight, I think we'll start with The Stanley Parable, released October 17th, 2013. We'll go off of the PC review score for the original version of The Stanley Parable. We're not doing The Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe, with all the extra stuff. We're doing the original release of The Stanley Parable on 2013 on PC. Mike, what do you think? The Stanley Parable.
I think people like this game.
Okay.
92.
92. Todd, what are you thinking? Stanley Parable.
I'm going to go 88.
88, okay. Don, what you thinking?
You going to split that diff?
Yeah, 90 then.
90, okay. Chat, if you're in there, feel free to also guess for the chat if you'd like.
Wait, what did Todd say?
Todd said
80 or 88.
Mike said 92. Right, you said 88, Todd?
Yep.
88, 92, you said 90?
Stay on 90.
Yeah.
All right. Well, unfortunately for 2 of you, one of you decided to go bullseyes out, and unfortunately for the not first place person, Todd indeed got a big old bullseye with 88, getting him.
Oh, I did it. Oh, I thought you said. Oh, it sounded like I didn't get it. I was like
2 big boy points for Todd, extending that lead further into the stratosphere. Let's move on to game number 2. We're going to go to the next game from the same developer, Ivy Road, The Beginner's Guide, which released on October 1st, 2015. How are we feeling? And this, we're going to, again, go off the PC. How are we feeling of The Beginner's Guide? Did Mike watch me play this game? But Mike's going to give his score last. Todd, what do you think? The Beginner's Guide.
Is it the same style game as Stanley Parable, or is it like?
It is. Maybe slightly similar tonally. I'll give you that.
I'll go with an 84.
Okay. 84. Dom, what do you think? The Beginner's Guide.
I don't know that I've ever heard of this game.
I haven't either.
But it's them, so I'm gonna go I don't know. I guess I'll go 75.
Okay. Mike, what do you think? You've watched me play this game.
Yeah, I watched you play it. I didn't care for it.
Yeah, so what would you give it? And then what is your guess? Based off of you not playing it and just watching me play it.
Based off me, and the thing is that the way the game is structured, it's definitely a game that you're supposed to play. Me watching it made me like that much more removed from the story it was trying to tell.
Yeah.
And I just didn't care for it because like I just kept scratching my head going like, okay, even within the narrative the story was presenting, I'm like, this doesn't make sense. Like if he gave you these games and then he didn't like that you were doing whatever with the games and then you put out these games, I don't know. I didn't care for it. I would rank it very low. I might even say like 60-ish, 50-ish. Wow. I will say that maybe with the critics, maybe they liked it more. Like the story, I think it does play out well if you're playing it, but watching somebody play it, it's just a different experience that wasn't good.
Okay. So what are you going to put down here?
So I will give it maybe like an 80 or something.
Okay.
81. 81.
81. Okay. So Mike's at 81, Todd's at 84, Dom is the closest with 75. It was a 76, which honestly, a shame because I really like this game. I think this game does some really interesting things.
When did it come out? I honestly don't think I ever heard of it.
2015 PC only. It is very interesting. Like, especially now playing those 2 games and Wanderstop, I still think that if you were going to start somewhere, the Stanley Parable was probably the one to play. But The beginner's guide, I think, does some extremely interesting things, and I definitely enjoyed the way it made me think about some stuff. Yeah, interesting game. It's one of those games that I kind of wish I could like forget about and then play it again. Same thing with Stanley Parable, to be honest. But that makes me think I need to at some point actually play Papers, Please, because I don't have that game spoiled for me,
dying to
and
play
I need to
Papers,
play
Please.
that game.
Is that made from them as well?
No, but I think people put it up there in like a similar, like sort of must-play type of type of game.
One of the reasons I was going to buy that handheld, the
Steam Deck,
whatever was for Papers, Please, because I've been like wanting to play that game forever.
I think they ported Papers, Please to console now. I think it's on console.
Did they?
It might be on Switch.
Might be on PlayStation.
Papers, Please is... Yeah, Cam in the chat. Papers, Please is one of the most important indies ever made. No, maybe it is not. It is on phones, it looks like. Oh, no, it is. Oh, it's on Vita, not PlayStation. It's on Vita.
Weird.
But yeah, Papers, Please is something I need to play. I also need to play Return to the Obra Dinn as well. That's on my list of games I need to play. All right. Taking us home, the final game on the list, we are going to go with Yakuza 0, released January. This can't be right. Maybe this is a re-release? When did this game come out? Yeah, initial release date, maybe. Well, I guess whatever. We're going to go off 2017. So, Yakuza 0, January 24th, 2017. I believe this is not the original release of the game, but we are going to go off of the PS4 review score. So, what do we think, Dom?
85.
85? Okay. Mike, what do you think? Yakuza 0.
Yakuza 0, I wasn't listening. What console?
PS4.
PS4, Yakuza 0.
People do love that Yakuza series.
Yeah, that's probably true. You know what? 87.
Okay. We got an 87. We got an 85. Todd, what do you think? Yakuza 0.
I'll go 86.
86. Wow. Look at that. Look at that split.
Dude, thread that needle, man. I hope you get it right.
So I will say, with the score that close, you were all fucking there. You're all firing. Xbox One review score, 90. PC review score, 86.
Oh,
But
wow.
much to Todd's chagrin, it is not the same on PS4. With Mike at an 87, Dom at an 85, and Todd incorrect by 1 with an 86. Dom gets that bullseye with an 85, which will end our week with Todd picking up 2 points, putting him at 20 points, Dom picking up 3, which puts him tied in first with 20 points. Mike sitting in third still with 10. But Dom making some big strides to say, if you come at the king, you better not miss, or whatever the fuck he says. Right? If you shoot at the king, you better not miss. The Wire? No? Nobody? Todd?
Yeah, something similar to that.
No? Wait, Todd never watched The Wire?
No.
That's like a Todd-ass show.
I feel like everyone talked it up so much, I refused.
Oh my God, here we go. You watched Severance. Everyone talked that up.
That's still kind of like, it's super popular, but there's still people who have like no idea what Severance is.
Well, yeah, because it's on Apple TV. Anyways, that'll end the week with those points and scores. We appreciate you. We will see you next time.